Today in Elden Ring, I'm going to be showing you how to get an additional 30% more runes whenever you kill anything in the game. To do this, I'm going to show you how to craft unlimited amounts of the Golden Pickled Fowl Foot, which is actually incredibly easy once you understand where you can farm the 3 required ingredients to do this as well. You can literally farm 100 an hour by following this step-by-step guide, since the ingredients are actually so accessible. But for those that don't know, the Golden Pickled Fowl Foot is a consumable item that once activated will give you an additional 30% runes for 3 whole minutes. And since the crafting materials are so easy to farm, you can use them whenever you like. So to craft the Golden Pickled Fowl Foot, we'll need to first unlock the crafting recipe. Then I'll show you the 3 farming locations to gather all the ingredients really quickly, so you can make an unlimited amount as well. So let's start by obtaining the crafting recipe. This can be done right at the start of the game at the first step bonfire, just here on the map. You're going to go directly north to the Agheel Lake North encampment, and then from there you're going to go east along the road. Before you get to this bridge, you want to come down here to the lake, and then from the lake you're going to head all the way north, and there's going to be like a secret cave located just around here. So starting from here on the map, you can see we're going to head east to that first waypoint I marked in the south along the path here. Just head along the pathway, and then we're going to head right towards the lake shores just over here. See, this is the lake, and we're just going to follow around the cliff to the left, and you can see this is the underside of the bridge now. Going to go ahead and sprint through these undead enemies. Now on the left hand side you will eventually find a secret cave. However, if it is the first time you've come here, you'll be invaded by the Finger before you can enter. This is an AI controlled phantom. Don't worry, just avoid him, and shortly after a golden AI will appear to help you defeat him. The golden warrior will kill him without your help, so just keep your distance. Upon defeat though, he drops runes and a unique dagger, but after that you can enter the cave. But now we're right outside this secret cave, which is located just over here on the map. As you can see, it's just here, right in this river valley, located next to the brazier. And now we can go ahead and proceed inside. I'm going to use a torch, which you can get from the first merchant you meet, for 200 runes if you haven't already brought it. We're going to head inside Murkwater Cave, and there's already a resting spot of grace just here, which we're going to activate. And we're just going to head on inside. There's going to be some enemies in this first room here, but we can literally just ignore them and run past and go to the right just here. And then there's a boss wall which we're going to go inside. And in this room there's literally nothing but a chest in the center of the room. As soon as you open this chest, the boss fight will start. I suggest you prepare yourself. Now, if you followed my best starter mage guide, linked down below in the description, you'll find this boss fight with patches rather easy. I suggest that you use the wolf summons if you are struggling to distract him, or even going for backstabs if you're playing a close combat character. Either way, you do not want to fully kill him. Just go down to a quarter of his health, then he'll actually surrender to you. If you've already killed him, don't worry. I'll explain what to do later.
Wait, please! I surrender!
But ideally, you're going to want to leave him alive, since you still lose access to some other unique quest rewards later on in the game otherwise. Definitely forgive him.
A true man of reason.
So now we're going to head back to the resting spot of Grace. After you've rested, head back to Patches. And now he will be set up at his shop just over here. As you can see, he sells 3 Golden Pickled Fowl Foot. However, we can actually make unlimited of these, so do not waste your runes on them yet. Instead, come down here. What we need is the Missionary Cookbook 2, which unlocks the crafting recipe to craft Golden Pickled Fowl Foot. So let's go ahead and buy this for 800 runes. Now, if you already killed Margaret, the first main boss, here in the castle, you're going to want to find Patches at the next location, which is north of the castle in this giant lake, where you must come along this path, past the Liurnia lakeshore, to the Laskyar ruins. Looking more closely at the map, we're going to go all the way north along the path, onto this rock in the middle of the lake here, just where I am on the map, with a telescope to the east. You're going to want to put a waypoint here and basically head over. Once you arrive, you'll find Patches atop this cliff next to another resting spot of Grace. You can buy the recipe we need here as well. However, if you did kill Patches, he would have dropped an item called the Patcher's Bell Bearing. This is an item that will probably be in your inventory if you didn't already notice it, but if you take it here on the map to the Round Table Hold, once you get here, you'll then be able to exchange it with the Twin Maiden's Husk to unlock his shop here instead, where you can then still buy the recipe to craft the Golden Foot. Now we have the recipe, we must find out how to farm the ingredients we need to craft it. The Golden Pickled Fowl Foot requires 3 Rowa Fruit, 1 4-toed Fowl Foot, and 1 Golden Firefly. I'll show you the best farming locations for each of these and how to get there next. So the first thing we need to obtain is the Rowa Fruit, which is the most easy common ingredient to obtain. You've probably already seen a bunch of it. So starting from here at the first step resting spot of grace where you start the game, we're just going to turn around and this ingredient pretty much grows all over the game. So I mean, it's so easy to gather. You literally just pick it up from wherever you go. I mean, there's several just outside the starting resting spot just here. And after you've picked them up, you can just go back to the bonfire and rest there and everything instantly respawns again and you can just pick them up. I mean, you've probably already picked up several of them because they exist and grow all over Limgrave, so just pick them up as you're riding. That's the best way to get them. Next, we need to obtain the 4-toes Fowl Foot. These will often drop from birds, and birds can be found all over cliff tops and beaches, but the best way to kill them is with a bow. And after that, I will show you the best farming location that I found on Reddit. Now, the next part of this guide will require you to have a bow or any kind of ranged weapon. So to get that, you can actually get it at the start of the game here at the first step bonfires. Once you arrive, you're going to go ahead and get on your mount, and then you're going to go left to the west, just over here, southwest, and you're basically going to jump off this cliff. Look directly down and you should see kind of like a wind coming up from the bottom. You basically want to land on that because if you land on that, you won't take any fall damage. So as you can see, there's kind of like an updraft and I just land and I'm perfectly safe here. So now we're going to head down the beach just here underneath this ruin to the west. And I'll show you on the map where it is when we get there. Hop on the rocks here and there's actually a secret merchant hidden under here. So you can see I'm just here on the map, east from the resting spot underneath this ruin just here. So now we can go ahead and chat to this gentleman. And he actually sells us a short bow, which we need for this, and it only costs 600 runes. Let's go ahead and buy this. And we're also going to buy some arrows. You can alternatively craft the arrows as well, though. But I'm just going to buy 50 arrows because that's plenty. Now, as for finding the birds, from that merchant, if you carry on further down the beach to this sort of square, just to the left of this square, you actually find a bunch more birds to go and kill. So all you need to do is go ahead and aim at them with the bow and just kill them like this. Now, if you kill them with the bow, they don't fly away. So you can just go ahead and shoot them all. However, if you were to use, for example, glintstone pebble like this, they won't fly away unless they're standing next to each other. Like that, you'll scare off the other one. The same thing happens if you use melee. However, there is a much better farming location for getting the birds. From the first step resting point, what you want to do is head southeast along the lakeside to the Agheel Lake South. Once you're at that resting spot, come south down the pathway, follow the valley, across this bridge of sacrifice, ignore the enemies on it, just ride past them. Carry on going south underneath this ruin, following the path all the way, keep following the path all the way down to the south. Eventually you'll come to this broken sort of fortress wall, but there's a resting spot of grace just there that you can grab. If you've not unlocked the map, you'll find the map fragment. If you carry on going south down the path, there'll be a little sort of glowing runestone that you can pick up. But assuming you've unlocked this, you're going to want to head north up to this area, over this lake to the south of the lookout tower, and then you want to head directly east across this bridge, and then carry on going all the way, and you can unlock this fourth church of Marika, which is pretty much just directly east from this location. So once you've unlocked that, just come down here to the beach and you can start farming these penguins. So you can see I'm at the church and I've unlocked the resting spot just here. So from the resting spot, we're just going to head down to the beach area. And we're going to head all the way north along the beach, and just over here, you see there's kind of like loads of birds just in one spot. So just shoot these birds and you'll get around 5 to 10 foul foot per run. And each time you can reset and respawn all of these birds by just teleporting back to the resting spot and then running back again and doing it repeatedly until you get as many as you want. It really doesn't take long at all, and you can always come back and farm them whenever you need them. It's also a fantastic source of feathers. Next we'll be obtaining the Golden Firefly, which is very easy to get stacks of. They grow near bodies of water located near an Erd tree. And this is the best source I've found thanks to Reddit. You're going to want to go southeast from this location, just across the way to the Tombswood resting spot of grace. And then directly south from this, in this lake, we'll find a bunch of fireflies, which we need as well for crafting it. And if you didn't know, for reference, we are right here on the south edge of the map. So you can see the fourth Church of Marika over there, and we're heading to that waypoint in the south. So we're just going to run along this cliff edge from this resting spot just here. And by the way, for any sun bros out there, we have a new t-shirt in the store linked below. If you're a member of the sun worshipping cult, you'll know what this is. But don't worry about it if you're not, and forget I ever said anything if you don't know what I'm talking about. So here we are at the lake, and as you guys can see, there's a bunch of fireflies in this area. And what you can do is actually just ride by on your horse and just spam the Y button, and you'll just pick them all up like this. Just ignore the enemies here, there's no point in fighting them, and walk around with your horse and grab all of these golden fireflies, because as you can see, there's tons of them here. After you're done, just ride away a bit until you can open your map. Then you're going to fast travel back to Tombswood, just here, and that will reset this location. You can just do it repeatedly. Every time you rest at a resting spot, all of those resources respawn. So now what we need, if you've not already got one, is we need to come to the Church of Ella, the first church you ever go to right here in Limgrave. And if for some reason you've not already brought it from this merchant, you're going to need the crafting bag. So go ahead and purchase the crafting kit from this merchant. Now, to actually craft these items, we're going to go to item crafting. And then we can see all the stuff that our character can craft, including the Golden Pickled Fowl Foot, which we now know the recipe for. And then what we can do is we can just say, okay, I want to make the maximum amount of these, so 62 of them. Now if we go to our equipment, we can go ahead and see that we have 10 fowl foot in our inventory currently. The rest was sent to our chest because you can only carry 10 at once. So now we can go ahead and use the golden foot whenever we're farming runes, like this farming method from my other video yesterday, where instead of 65,000 runes, we almost get 100,000 runes just from killing this one enemy that doesn't even fight back. In fact, you can do this at the start of the game following the guide linked down below in the description. And that's all thanks to the Golden Pickled Fowl Foot. Tasty.